What is authentication? See, if someone comes to you and he says that my name is, say, uh, Mr. X. Now, you haven't seen Mr. X anytime, but you were aware that Mr. X is going to come. So, what you will do? You will open the house and then you will regret. Maybe it shouldn't happen, but you need to confirm the identity of a person. So that is called the authentication. That is, this person, if this person or a software or a subsystem or some packet, they want to enter, they need to authenticate themselves. So authentication confirms users are who they say they are. There is one more concept which is generally talked about with authentication is authorization. That is, if you and your friend and your mother, they are at same house, there are certain places you and your mother can access, but your say the friend cannot access. He cannot access. So authorization gives users permission to access a resource. So authentication is the process of recognizing a user's identity. Let me tell you again, authentication confirms users are who they say they are. I'm Mr. X, so confirm it. So it is the mechanism of associating an incoming request with a set of identification or identifying credentials, right? If you want to me to say, be convinced, satisfied that you what you are, please prove it to me, and that is nothing but authentication. Okay, see, whenever the normal public meet, you are able to identify them. What about on internet, on web, on internet networks? So authentication factors can be classified into three groups. Something you know, that is a password or a personal identification number, PIN. For example, whenever you go to Gmail, you need to enter username and password. Okay? In banking, whenever you want to go, you have to enter a PIN. Something you have. This is the other group. That is, you may have a token, you may have a card, you have a bank card. So whenever you go to a bank, first you have to put up ATM card, then you have to put the PIN. So that is something you have. This is one of the group. And there is one more group of authentication factors classification is the biometrics, like the fingerprints, like the voice recognition, because the fingerprints are special. They are different in different people. Voices are different. The iris are different. Iris identification is also done. So something you know, something you have, something you are, these are the authentication factor. Then there are different types of authentication. The simplest one is authentication based. That is, there are certain password. Today, you cannot just write password. You have to give in small case, then you have to add the uppercase, then you have to add certain special characters, and there has to be certain minimum length of password which you can use. And you cannot use the password which you have already used 2 times. So these are the password based, and this is also one of the best and easiest technique of authentication. Okay. Then we have the multi-factor. So multi-factor is that first you enter the password, then some say OTP or etc. will come to you, and that will be multiple factor or 2-factor. Biometric based, that is, your eyes are special, the fingers or the fingerprinting is different, your voice is different. So all these are used as a biometric measure to authenticate. Then the certificate based, in HTTPS there is a certificate based communication going on, like the SSL, TLS, that is a certificate based. Then we have the token based, that you might or you should have a key to open the house. That is, you need a card to enter certain rooms, certain those access controlled rooms. So you need to have a token. This is called token based authentication. Okay. So let me just discuss the differences one by one. But before that, the authentication can be traditional, it can be biometric. In traditional, we have Knowledge base, what you know, in that we have the text based password. It can be picture based password also, like you have to choose which all images are having the bicycle. Then the pin or alphanumeric password you can use. This is the most easiest and the general way we are adopting. Then object based, what you have, that is you can have a card, you can have a key, you can have a token. Then the second part of authentication is biometric. It can be physiological, what you are, and behavioral, what you do. That is, what you are means your face, face recognition, the fingerprinting, the iris, that is inside your eye, that is also special. Behavioral means what you do, how you speak, voice recognition, how you type, a keystroke, how you write, that is sign, signature, and the gait recognition. So authentication type is knowledge based. You use PIN, password, paraphrase, passphrase, and the user position. You are having certain token, access card, or a physiological biometric, that is the fingerprinting, facial characteristic, iris patterns are the physiological, or you can say the biometric way of understanding and authenticating. So first thing, what are the benefits? So the knowledge based, first thing is ease of use. Most common authentication applies a layer of this is the very basic layer of protection. Then user possession. Without a token, you are not authorized to go somewhere where you want. So in the physical biometric, this is quite simple to use. All other authentication, this is the best one, and nothing for the user to remember or carry. In user possession, if you have something, you give it to somebody else, or somebody snatches it from you, he can enter. Password somebody steals, he can enter. But biometrics is very special. It's only up for you. What are the disadvantages? In the knowledge based, if your name is say Chunnu, so user chooses easy or weak password, then there is a problem. So the attackers can attack. In user possession, sometimes your card gets broken. It is inconvenient. In biometric, first of all, you need to put a machine which is expensive. Low usability deters usage. There is a slow speed because there is all the algorithms going on in the back, processing going on. And sometimes socially awkward also, especially in the COVID times, you cannot use fingerprint. All other things are not allowed. And there may be some potential environmental impact. If somebody has eye problem, then you see in the same machine iris pattern, you will likely to get that. Security. See, the knowledge based is more susceptible to dictionary attacks and brute force attack. There are certain big machines which can actually break your password with combination of all the keys on the keyboard. User possession, the security, it enhances security, but only if the token is available and not damaged. Okay, but if it is being taken or stolen by someone else, security can be vandalized. You can say it can be jeopardized. Then the security in the biometric, it increased security due to the uniqueness of the physiological characteristics.